You're watching BionicDance. Don't run on automatic, instead, please think.
And many theories of origins have been propounded throughout our nation's history. 1859, a sincere biologist returned from the Galapagos Islands and wrote a book entitled The Origins of Species, in which Charles Darwin, offered a theory of the origin of species, which we've come to know as evolution.
Funny story, maybe you've heard it. Chuck Darwin was British.
Charles Darwin never thought of evolution as anything other than a theory. He hoped that someday it would be proven by the fossil record, but did not live to see that, nor have we. 1925, in the famous Scopes monkey trial, this theory made its way through litigation into the classrooms of America, and we all have seen the consequence over the last 77 years. Evolution not taught as a sincere theory of biologists, but rather, Mr. Speaker, taught as fact.
And this rectal polyp is the Republican choice for vice president. Scary thought, right? Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. So let's forget just for a moment that Trump's sidekick doesn't know the difference between the colloquial and technical definitions of the word theory. And if you don't know that difference yourself, go look it up, because it is important. And let's focus on something else he says later. Something that's been sticking in my craw for the last few days, because he's not the only one who has tried this particular bit of chowderheadery thinking it's a valid argument.
And can we also consider teaching other theories of the origin of species, like the theory that was believed in by every signer of the Declaration of Independence? Every signer of the Declaration of Independence believed that men and women were created.
And that's where he goes completely off the rails. Let's forget for a moment his right-wing dog whistle, his ham-handed attempt at a "why do you hate America" argument, and look at the argument itself. He's basically saying that in the 240 years since the Declaration of Independence, science hasn't progressed or learned anything new. After all, if what we knew then was good enough for the Founding Fathers, then by Jiminy it ought to be good enough for us now. Goodness knows nothing has changed since then, right? And a few days ago, I had someone try to turn this argument up to 11 by claiming that Aristotle, who was born in 384 BCE, was a scientist who believed in God, and therefore, if we think science is even slightly nifty, we should all believe in God. Because Aristotle. No other reason, just Aristotle. And in the, 2,400 years since then, there is no chance whatsoever that we might have learned a little bit more than Aristotle, that by comparison to our scientists today, he is a bit of an ignoramus. Not stupid, just lacking sufficient information. And there is no chance that if he had some of that information that he lacked, he might have concluded that his idea of God is wrong. Not possible. Right? Of course, Aristotle was Greek and certainly didn't believe in the Christian God, couldn't have since he predated Christianity by several hundred years, but hey, details, right? Point is, what we have here in both cases is a big ol' appeal to authority fallacy, one that I see a lot from religionoids. Basically, they pick someone famous, someone they think will agree with on some important issue or other, and they say, and they believed in God, why don't you? You should believe in God because so does someone who did something you think is nifty. Little details like when that person was around and how much knowledge and understanding they could access don't matter, of course. And they somehow think this is a knockdown argument, a gotcha, like somehow we'll fold just because an important figure disagreed with us on one point. And no amount of pointing out the flaws in this argument seems to sway them either. No matter what I said to that kid about Aristotle, he'd just fall right back on, but he's a scientist. You like science, and he believed in God, so neener. Anyway, I'll admit, the main reason I made this video is because I need to vent. But also to point out the positions of power from which this argument gets made. 'Cause, that might turn out to be a problem someday. You think? Before I go, I want to leave you with this little gem.
We can all see in our mind's eye that grade room classroom we all grew up in with the linear depiction of evolution just above the chalkboard. There's the little monkey crawling on the grass. There's the Neanderthal with his knuckles dragging, and then there's Mel Gibson standing in all of his glory.
Mel Gibson. Wouldn't that be an argument against evolution? Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think. A thumbs up for this video is a vote for excellence and glory. Subscribe to BionicDance and make the internet great again.